Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our returning guest. We have Laurie Foster. We're here to break down Cthulhu is hard to spell, but thankfully not pronounce, and everything in between. Welcome back to the stream, Laurie. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I am doing great. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We were talking backstage. I just finished up the last episode of The Last of Us, and thankfully, you know, the tears weren't flowing too bad because I was able to come to the stream and not cry the whole time. I don't know how they're doing it, but the way they are taking that game and putting it on the screen is just remarkable.
It really is. It's emotional. It looks great. The effects are great. The acting's great. I have no complaints about it. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. We have Two Geeks Talking starting off. Hey, dude, it's nice to see you this bright and early. I know these cool people. Welcome to the stream, Kurt. Laurie, for everyone who is just seeing you for the first time on the stream, give us a little bit about who you are and how you got into creating comics.
Sure. So I'm an inker, I'm an editor, I'm an art director, I'm a cosplayer, kind of jack of all trades. I own Unlikely Hero Studios, who are a small independent comic book publishing company. I started, I started as an illustrator myself, and an inker, and then kind of moved from there. And as I, realized I was good at running things, kind of expanded from there.
I was going to say, it sounds like you wear a lot of different hats. I mean, that has to be super handy in this type of business.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're starting out and you don't have money to hire a lot of people, it's helpful to be able to do a lot of that stuff yourself.
So what came first? The inking or the writing or art? What was the kind of your very first steps into it?
In comics specifically, it would be inking. Like, I just kind of started, I've always kind of wanted to ink, since I was a kid, and I just started messing around with it. I started adding it to my illustration portfolio, and eventually I started getting hired, and then kind of went from there, I want to kind of do more than this. I want to...
And then one thing led to another, and you started illustrating, and that is awesome. So when did you end up forming Unlikely Hero Studios?
So I actually didn't form it. It was formed by Zach Dolan way back in the day, and they hired me as an inker for their book Super. And yeah, one thing kind of led to another. They were trying to get Super off the ground, and they were trying to put it on Kickstarter, and I kind of helped them figure that stuff out, because they were really good. Zach was an amazing illustrator and amazing writer, but the business end of things was not his. He didn't want to deal with that. So I started helping them more, and kind of went from there. And unfortunately, Zach passed away in 2019. And I decided that I should continue the legacy and kind of keep going, make more books, do more stuff with it.
That is a remarkable thing to take the mantle and keep it running. I'm sure that was, a heavy pressure, to take that leadership.
Yeah, I still kind of feel pressure about it. I want it to be perfect for his legacy and for what he was doing in the first place, and I want to keep it going. So I'm always kind of thinking about, okay, what would he do or what would he think in this situation, and I try to keep him alive in that way.
No, that's awesome. So what is currently on the lineup for Unlikely Hero Studios? So what all projects are you guys currently working on right now?
Whew. There's a disturbing amount. So we're working on there's a lot. We just finished a campaign for Power Broker number 3 and 4. So Power Brokers 1 through 4 are going to be going out. We just finished a campaign for Miss Medusa 2, which you know about.
Yes.
What else? We're working on Elsewhere Volume 4. That's our anthology. We have a Miss Medusa number 3 in the works, Miss Medusa Presents, which is going to be kind of a bunch of stories based in the Miss Medusa universe, but with different artists actually involved and kind of branching out from the series, which is going to be really fun. You opened a can of worms here. We're doing so much stuff.
Hey, I love talking about comics, so that's a perfect scenario for me.
Yeah, and then Unthinkables 2 and 3 is coming, and then of course right now we're doing a campaign for Cthulhu's Hard to Spell, and I think that's everything in the
That
next
is, yes,
month.
that is a full plate. So I mean, what is your involvement with that? Are you just kind of overseeing things, or are you like working on any of those projects yourself outside of Miss Medusa?
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place with them, helping with inks on some of them. I'm editing some of them. Um, I'm trying to remember what else. What else am I doing on these? Yeah, mostly editing, inking, art direction, kind of all three. I am unfortunately not inking Unthinkables, but that's almost ready. So I'm very excited to get it released.
No, that is so awesome. It's good to be so busy that you have a hard time remembering instead of the other way around, right? Like,
yeah, there's too much going on. It's
so
but it's good. It's a good kind of stress.
Last time we had you on was with a huge group of individual creators talking about a whole slew of different Kickstarters, and Miss Medusa issue 2, I believe, was the one we talked about last. How did that Kickstarter end up going for you? I know you said you were doing fulfillment, so how did that all end up happening for you? Like the end results?
It went great. I'm trying to remember what we ended up with. It was a good amount of money. We got it all printed. I just finished getting it shipped out. We had done a cross promotion with those other creators to give everyone this really awesome metal print if they backed all 4 campaigns, which was just absolutely insane. And I was the one who shipped those out, and they just looked amazing. Fairy Metal Photography did them for us, and I think people are going to be blown away when they get them. I'm very excited.
That's awesome. So were you guys using BackerKit to help fulfillment, or was everything just done individually?
Yeah, I've been using BackerKit for fulfillment on the last maybe 10 campaigns we've done. It just makes everything so much easier. The survey system is better. It lets you do more stuff. People tend to add on a lot more items in BackerKit in cart after the fact as well. Like, yeah, so everything, fulfillment with BackerKit all the way.
I was really surprised. And maybe I'm not the only one. I thought of them as kind of like, the for Kickstarter, they would hit you with the surveys and help fulfillment. I didn't know they were a crowdfunding platform. How has that service been, like switching from Kickstarter to BackerKit?
It's been great. I guess I can go over kind of the pros and cons.
Because it's in beta right now, right?
Right. It's not open to everyone. They're kind of like talking to people and accepting projects on a case-by-case basis. And I thought this anthology in particular would work well for what they're doing because everyone likes Cthulhu. So it's easier to get people coming to their website than like a small floppy book or something. The setup was extremely easy. They were super helpful. They have helped me market the campaign, which is really great. They'll answer emails immediately, and there's a constant back and forth, which is part of the reason why I did it, because it feels like a collaboration and not just like, please see my project Kickstarter and maybe feature it, like it's more collaborative in that way. I found, again, their add-on system is just better because you can kind of upload images for every add-on so people see exactly what it looks like right away and they want to put it in their cart. There's kind of some really nice functionality like that. It's easier to kind of copy and paste images and text just to build your campaign, which was really nice. Just little like quality of life changes like that made it really nice. They also have like different sections that you can click on for like what is it about, pledge level, stretch goals, add-ons, so that someone doesn't have to necessarily scroll up and down for 10 minutes to find something. Like they want to see the stretch goals, they just click it and it pops them down, or they want to see the reviews, they click it and it pops down, rather than this gigantic 17-mile like scrolling on your phone trying to find what you want, which I really like.
And then best of all, I'm sure they package it in, doing the fulfillment part as well, right? Like it seems like an all-in-one package deal.
Right. So, I mean, I fulfill through them. I use their software, their shipping stuff. So, right, it's already set up. It's just going to bump right into their survey stuff.
That's
and into
awesome.
The fulfillment stuff. So it's super easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. And we're going to actually be taking a look at that campaign in here in just a few seconds. We're here to talk about Cthulhu is Hard to Spell. Give us a little bit about this book. This is a heavy hitter.
Yeah, so so this was initially an anthology published, curated and published by Russell Nolte, Wannabe Press. I don't remember the exact year that he published it. It was a couple of years ago, and he published it as a gigantic hardcover book, like a brick, 300-page brick. And he published 3 volumes of 300-page bricks.
Wow.
Yeah, so and after those 3 volumes, he decided, he was going to retire the series essentially. But he chatted with me and he asked me if it was something that I would like to take over, and I decided I would. And so what I did is basically I took we're going to start with republishing his gigantic hardcover bricks as shorter soft covers so that they're more affordable and more accessible for people, and you'll probably see them in stores, hopefully, fingers crossed. So it'll actually be 6, instead of 3 gigantic bricks, it'll be 6 shorter soft covers. So this is the campaign for the first 3. And then we're going to go on from there and curate new shorter volumes in softcover that will then be collected probably in an omnibus. So we're going to do the reverse of what he was doing.
No, that's awesome. So are you like keeping true to like the structure of the stories, like how each story laid, or do you have to adjust them to fit them in those smaller volumes?
No, so none of the stories are getting split up or changed that we had before. I am adding a couple of new stories to each volume, just so if people bought the first ones and they want the softcover format and they're like, but they're not sure, you get a couple of new stories. Fish Lee's doing a story. Michael Norwitz is doing a story. Russell is actually doing a new story with Nicholas Touris.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's new material, there's new covers. There's a bunch of merch on the campaign, which Russell never did merch. So there's shirts and socks, and there's plans for maybe some crazy pajamas and stuff down the line if we hit some stretch goals.
So how's it feel like, because initially it sounded like he signed off on this anthology, but to have him come back and working on a story for it, like how does that feel to like kind of get him roped back into it?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Russell is really cool. He's really collaborative. He's been really helpful helping me get everything off the ground, and kind of and he was like, I never did a story that represented the original covers for the series, so why don't I do one of those? And I was like, of course. Like, why? How could I say no? Yeah, and it's a great story. I just actually got it lettered, and it's completely ready, so I'm really excited. It's ridiculous, so I'm excited for people to read it.
That is awesome. I think right now would be the perfect segue. Let's go ahead and head over to Backer Kit and check out this campaign and some of the interiors as well. Cthulhu is hard to spell. Currently at 13,242 of a $10,000 goal with 186 backers and 16 days left to go. Congratulations on killing it right now. I mean, this has to feel awesome, like moving to a new platform and halfway through it, like you're already funded.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. Russell was like, well, I'll be the guinea pig. I'm fine with it. So he wasn't super worried. I was, of course, I'm nervous about every campaign, but I was, of course, just anxious because it is a new platform and they don't have as big of a pre-existing fan base as Kickstarter, just hanging around waiting to back campaigns. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's going. I'm hoping to hit a few stretch goals before it's over because we have some cool stuff coming. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to get it printed and out, and we have that really cute figurine that I'm just in love with.
I was about to ask if that was a real thing. So is that like an add-on?
Yeah, so it's a pledge tier and an add-on. We have a super, super limited quantity. We found an absolutely amazing 3D artist named Keith Talbot that had the... he had designed this, and we were like, hey, how do you feel about printing some and then hand painting some for us, because it is so friggin' cute.
Yeah, this is like baby Yoda levels of cuteness right now.
I know, it's amazing. I'm obsessed with them. And so we're only offering 10 for the camp, so 10 painted and 10 unpainted. for the campaign, because it's just the one guy who crafted it and made it and designed it and is painting them. So this isn't like a mass merchandise thing. It's really special. We're going to have they're going to be in special boxes, kind of like super limited Pop Funko stuff. And they're about 4 or 5 inches. So they're about the same size as a Pop Funko as well.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. And then the first volume contains 20 stories, so by diverse creators all around the world about gods and the monsters of Lovecraft. This is definitely a heavy hitter for any Lovecraftian fan out there. We have Mama Geekly over on Facebook saying they are cute. The Cthulhu is very, very adorable. So what are some of your favorite stories we can look forward to in Volume 1? Is there any like ones we should look for when we get this?
Oh, geez. There's so many good ones. So that Nora by Angela Odling. Angela has just the most unique style. It's super cute, but it's super creepy at the same time. And like no one else captures stuff like that. That's definitely one of my favorites. I mean, it's hard to pick favorites because they're all great.
It's like your children, right?
Right.
What about Cat is Cryptic? I love cats.
Yes, and we have a couple of cat stories because Lovecraft has some kind of cat related stuff, so we have some cat stories that makes me really excited. We have a story in the 3rd volume that has reference to Tentacle Kitty. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it should be fun. Kelsey Jo Silva did a story as well that's really adorable. It's amazing seeing what's the most amazing thing to me is seeing what all the diverse creators will do with Lovecraft's material. And there's just there's some terrifying stories, and there's some absolutely ridiculous ones where Lovecraftian gods are going to marriage counseling. Like there's such a range of stories. It's incredible. The one that Fish Lee is working on, the new one for the books, is also amazing and ridiculous. And I wish I'd sent you the image. He was sending me progress inks, and it's just pages full of because it takes place in like an interdimensional office library, and there's tons of like Easter eggs and books in the background.
Oh, that's so
it's incredible.
cool.
I'm excited. Yeah.
That is so cool. And I just love like how you were saying it earlier, like how diverse this art is. You have so many distinctive styles. How does it feel to be overseeing this? Like, is this like your first project like of this level?
Our Elsewhere anthology is kind of a similar vein. I got into it. It's kind of a cross-genre anthology, that one too. So our submissions are all over the place. And then getting into this with Russell, he knows more prose than I do. So there's more name dropping on this anthology and more, kind of that famous people working on it. But yeah, it's incredible to just work with people and have them come up with these awesome scripts and then getting it all together on time. And it's nuts.
This is gorgeous. And this is the first time we've gone through a backer kit campaign as well, guys. Feel free to leave your comments down below, like what you think of this layout. I think it is a nice, clean layout, and I love the pledge levels. We don't have like a whole scroll bar over here to like, a scroll within scroll. It's just one nice, clean layout. So we have pledge levels right here, $10 for a digital edition, and then you must choose one of 3. So you can get one of 3 for $10, a $25 print edition, and then at $50, sock it to me. Are these a pair of socks?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. I love them.
They're super colorful. They're super comfy. I'm obsessed with them.
That is awesome. And then we have shirts, and you can get a physical. This is a physical book as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So one of the physical books, awesome shirt design right there too. And then Respect Your Elders. So what is this tier about?
That's just everything. So you get all 3 volumes, you get the shirt, and you get the socks. So you're just decked out.
Yeah, awesome deal for $120. $180, you can get that non-painted Cthulhu figurine right there. Or excuse me, what would you call that? Is like a statue?
I've been calling it a figure. Yeah, it's like a mini. Yeah,
I always
Funko.
have a
It's
hard
got
time
two
coming up with a
rules.
name for him because, like, I don't want to say like I have like this, and I don't want to be like, well, I have a toy. Like it's Iron Man. Like that figurine sounds a little bit better.
Right. And like, yeah, it's right. It's like a higher end toy. I don't know what to call it.
Hmm.
Statuette, figurine. I don't know what's the correct.
I like statuette.
Okay.
And then we have the retail pack at 188, so you get 5 copies of each. At 325, you get the hand-painted Cthulhu deluxe figure. So only 10 available on this. Act fast before they sell out, guys. Right here is the link to jump on that while you still can. And then the mega retail mega pack at 375. So 10 copies of each right there. And then a closer look at these socks. This is awesome. How like, did you come up with the sock idea?
Yeah, so I love, that's actually the art from one of the covers by Javier Gandona, and I love that design, and I love crazy colorful socks. So I talked to actually Alchemy Merch. They're the ones that are going to be doing our socks, and Tessa over there kind of helped us figure out how to get them designed in a sock shape or whatever. But yeah,
so
they look
cool.
amazing when they're printed. They're super bright. It's awesome.
One of a kind too. I don't know how many Cthulhu socks are out there, guys. So jump on those while you still can. And then a closer look at that Cthulhu. This thing is adorable. I love the wrinkles in the feet the most.
It's so cute. I don't know if we show one from the back, but he's got little butt cheeks in the back.
Hold on, I'll see. No, I don't think we have one.
I forget if we showed one. Yeah, I'll have to get that up there.
So adorable. And the little belly button and everything. And then a look at the box as well. And then stretch goals. So add 15,000 all physical tier backers will receive a shiny metal bookmark. This thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's going to be so pretty and bright and shiny. And yeah.
And then some quick add-ons too. So we'll just kind of scroll through there. You can get digital volume 1, 2, and 3 for $10. Cthulhu is hard to caffeinate decaf. You guys even have coffee?
We do. We're crazy. We're all over the place.
We have ordinary human person. Cthulhu's butt cheeks are the cutest. I have a link. Pop it up. Let's get those cheeks on the screen.
Let's get the cheeks.
We have a Cthulhu face pin at $12. A championship belt. Oh, I love this. Oh man, the nod to wrestling. That is great.
Isn't it cute? I love it.
And then block pins as well. You guys are really killing it with the merch. This is some awesome stuff right here.
Thank you. And those ordinary human person is Sarah, and she actually designed those graphics.
Oh,
so
hey, well, welcome, Sarah. Yes, welcome to the stream. Shout out ordinary human person. So what we'll do is we'll kind of just remove this, and as soon as we get that link, we'll add it here. But while we have you here, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them? You know, with 16 days left on the clock.
Oh wow.
No pressure. No pressure.
How do I sell this to you if you're on the fence? There's a lot of stories. If you're not sure like about the genre of stories, we have every genre. So like even if you don't like one, there's like 20 more in each volume for you to choose from. You should like at least half of them. Like I feel like I can guarantee that. And they're a great price. If you're also not sure, we have the digital versions, and they're even cheaper. They're a fantastic price. And we're not going to be offering any of this merch outside of this campaign. So if you want those really cool socks that I keep shilling, you have to get them.
Oh, those are some awesome socks. For everyone watching, right here is the link to check it out once again. And then we're kind of just, what we'll do is we'll switch to our screen, but as soon as Sarah drops a link, we'll switch back here. So let me go ahead and pop right over here. So, you know, with 2023, you know, we're still just a few months into it. What's next for you in the few couple months? I know you mentioned Miss Medusa issue 3.
Yeah, that's probably going to be later this year. That's a really time-consuming book because of how we make it. We have a background artist and a foreground artist, and it's just like it's a lot. So that's probably going to be near Halloween again this year. Miss Medusa Presents, I would say, is probably 60% done. So that might be in first quarter. The Surgeon issue 6 is also 80% done. And our artist has unfortunately been really ill, so we haven't been able to finish that. We were hoping to release that in April, but it might be a little late. Oh man, we just have so much going on. Unthinkables 2 and 3 is also like 80, everything we have is currently 80% done, and I just want to get it 100% done before we campaign for it, because I want the backers to just get it as soon as possible. So, but it's all coming. It's coming in the next couple of months.
I still remember the one thing I loved the most was like the detail you had in Miss Medusa's campaign as well, like the tickets for the tiers. I thought that was so awesome. Like it just fit the theme so perfectly.
Thank you. That was also Sarah, ordinary human person.
Sarah just is killing it. That is so awesome. So
exactly.
Outside of comics and everything, what are you reading? What are you playing game wise?
Okay, so I just finished playing two things. I finished playing God of War Ragnarok, which I 100%ed because I'm
wow. I heard there was an extra level after you completed 100%. There was like a continuation of the ending chapter.
Yeah, it kind of keeps going. It keeps going, and there's some other stuff you can do. There's I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
There's
I can appreciate that.
Okay, there's some continuation of the storylines that happen to certain characters. There is some continuation, and then there's of course like absolutely ridiculous, over the top couple of boss fights that if you want 100%, you have to complete.
That's true to God of War form, though.
Yeah. But yeah, it actually keeps going, and there's a couple of storyline arcs that are kind of closed up if you keep messing around in it, which I had to because I was just addicted to it at that point. And then I finished Signalis on the Switch, which was a very interesting, bizarre, weird, fun. Have you played it?
I've never heard about it. I was just about to ask like what it was about.
Okay, it's like a survival horror. I would say it's like Silent Hill mixed with Evangelion. It's very
that
weird
sounds
sci-fi
awesome.
horror. It's freaking great. It's absolutely bizarre and scary and a really cool storyline. I would absolutely, if you haven't played it, you should. I think you can get it on any system.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, we were talking backstage. I played Atomic Heart. That's like a Russian iRobot. It is set in the 1950s. So think like kind of like old school Fallout, but like everything's Russian. It is such a weird and crazy vibe, and it's not horror, but it's like psychological horror, I guess. Like it's like the AI. Cool. It's such a little bit of Portal too. Oh, okay. Sarah's playing a little bit of Portal. I think that's awesome. Or maybe that's what Sarah was saying that game's like. I thought it was kind of similar to like BioShock. It's that, and then Dead Space, the remaster for that just came out as well. So I was really happy to kind of dive into that and replay it. Dead Space is like one of my favorites. Sarah said she's going to be dropping that link, I think, in chat or sending it to you. The Cthulhu's butt cheeks.
I think
okay, Cthulhu's cheeks were too cute. And we were not able to view it. You guys are just gonna have to buy that thing. You're gonna have to trust us and buy it. It was so cute. It would not even. It's unviewable. So my apologies about that. We tried. We tried.
Broke the internet. So,
so Laurie, you've been on the show before.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. It's the lag's catching up. I think we're good now.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, did the render break your shit? I'm sorry. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Anytime I have an opportunity, I always want to try to catch it. This time we know if something involves rendering, maybe hold off until after stream. So, Laurie, you've been on the show before. You know the drill. Anytime I get a guest on, I always love asking for a little bit of advice for anyone who is new or maybe even seasoned and listening to the show. And with you having so many successful Kickstarters under your belt, I have to ask you, what would some of your biggest advice be for someone looking to run one for the first time?
Cool. Okay. Kickstarter specifically. The first thing I would do is I would open up Kickstarter and I would just look at a bunch of other people's campaigns. I would look and see which campaigns are doing well and look at the kind of graphics they have, the kind of text they have, the kind of thumbnail they have. Thumbnail is the most important thing basically on a Kickstarter campaign, after the product itself, because it's the thing that people see on Kickstarter. So if you have a garbage thumbnail or if you have a thumbnail that's filled with text, nobody is going to click on it because they don't care. You want the craziest. In fact, if you can afford to, I would have a separate piece of art made for your thumbnail specifically because it's literally the ad for your campaign. It's super important. Another thing that I would keep in mind is that Kickstarter isn't like a magical solution to make money. You need to have some kind of fan base first. And if you don't have social media and you don't have an email list and you just launch a Kickstarter, the chances that it's going to succeed are not very good. So don't just assume that, well, oh man, all these creators are doing so. They've put work into cultivating fans and lists, and it's not, even if you have the best product in the world, if you don't have something driving people there beforehand, it's the chance of success is lower. So you have to keep that in mind. It's not a magic fix everything solution.
No, I think some great advice right there, and I think, you know, being real with yourself, having real expectations is a big part of this. You can't just run a book, have no following, and expect it to sell 1 million copies. It's like that the saying about the person at the bar. You know, if you go to a bar, you won't make friends unless you talk to the people there. You know, so you got to branch out. You got to make friends. You got to network. Some awesome advice. Thank you, Laurie. Everyone watching, right here is the link. Be sure to back this today. And if you're unable to, share this wherever you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. And it costs nothing to do, so we would love to see it. Laurie, thank you for swinging by. Everyone watching, I hope you all have a fantastic Sunday, but most importantly, keep it geekly.